What's up, guys? Wow. Okay, so a new motion by the prosecutor's office regarding Little Durk. And so, just to let you guys know, this is going to be a detailed examination of this motion. It's not one of those quick videos, but you're going to get a lot of information immediately. First of all, I want to let you know this is the government. So, the prosecutor's opposition to defendant Banks' motion to dismiss the indictment. So, Lil Durk's lawyers have put in a motion to dismiss the indictment itself. They're saying it's based off of just this idea that he's using lyrics to try to benefit from that individual's murder, right? So this is the prosecutor's response, man, and there are allegations already that there is witness tampering, that someone has threatened the witnesses, and I'm going to show you guys what it says. So we're going to go through it piece by piece because I want you guys to read this. It's substantial, it's well written, and it gives you insight in what's to come in the Little Durk case, man. He is fighting a big battle. They're trying to get the entire indictment itself dismissed, all right? So let's look. Defendant is charged with murder for hire, stalking resulting in death, and other crimes arising from a premeditated execution-style murder that occurred on a busy street corner in Los Angeles. Among other things, the indictment charges that defendant directed and financed 6 hitmen to travel across the country to hunt and kill his rival TB. Once the co-conspirators arrived in Los Angeles, the hitmen used 2 vehicles to stalk TB for hours before ambushing TB's vehicle at a gas station in broad daylight, killing SR. On April 18, 2025, defendant filed a motion seeking to dismiss the first superseding indictment, taking issue with an introductory allegation that alleged defendant commercialized SR's murder through certain violent rap lyrics about green lighting a murder. As set forth below, defendants claim that his music prompted his indictment here is categorically false, as evidenced by the return of the second superseding indictment. So what they went is they went before a grand jury again and presented different evidence, not including that allegation regarding the lyrics, and the grand jury indicted again. But as you guys know, and as you've probably heard, it's not hard to get an indictment. It's a very low standard to meet, and it's pretty easy for prosecutors' offices to meet that standard and get an indictment. There's no adversarial process, there's no cross-examination. It's just you present evidence to a jury, and the jury decides, hey, yes, you have enough probable cause to indict this individual. So this superseding indictment removed the disputed introductory allegation and contains no reference to defendant's violent lyrics. The grand jury's return of the SSI makes it clear defendant is not on trial for his lyrics or his music. He is on trial because he directed, orchestrated, and financed the brazen murder plot at issue in this case. Accordingly, defendant's motion should be denied because it is moot following the superseding indictment. Okay, so your motion isn't worth it anymore. Your motion is based on this allegation we put in the initial indictment, but since we got this second indictment, we've removed that initial allegation about regarding the lyrics, and so it's moot. It doesn't matter anymore. It has no basis. It's done. But even if mootness does not apply, which it does, the motion fails to cite any legitimate basis to dismiss the indictment or unseal grand jury transcripts. So they're trying to get the grand jury transcripts unsealed. They want to know who's in there, what did they say, what are the allegations based off. We want to expose this. We want to see it. We're Little Durk's lawyers. We want to see how the hell you got this indictment, and we're trying to fight it from the initial point where you got a grand jury indictment. We're trying to get rid of this before ever going to trial. This is what they're attempting. Lil Durk is paying a lot of money, and they're working. All right, they're working very hard, particularly in this murder case where witnesses and their family members have already been threatened. And so here we go. A footnote number one, let's read it. In connection with the defendant's detention hearing, the government submitted evidence related to certain threats to witnesses. All right, so they haven't, we don't have what evidence they've presented. It's not available over here. It's under seal. Okay, so one of them is under seal, or maybe both of them are under seal. So we haven't seen that. Okay, so that's crazy. So people are already threatening witnesses, and it is stated that there are witnesses in Lil Durk's case. Okay, who could the witnesses be? I don't know, but there are witnesses. They must know something because they're already getting threats. Okay, so this is crazy. On May 14th, 2025, defendant filed an appeal of Judge Donahue's detention order to this court, which will be heard on the same date as defendant's motion to dismiss. So they're appealing the detention order that just happened where they denied Lil Durk bail. And now there's going to be another hearing on the defendant's motion to dismiss the entire case. And that's on June 2nd, 2025. So that's going to be a big deal, okay? Government will submit its opposition to defendant's appeal by May 27th. Okay, so that's the appeal related to the bond. Let's get back to where we were. Where was it? Number one. Indeed, the compelling need to continue protecting witnesses alone justifies denying defendants' meritless request to unseal the sensitive proceedings before the grand jury. All right, guys. So the prosecutor is arguing that, you know what? So let's start with Lil Durk's attorneys are arguing, hey, show us what you used to get the grand jury to indict. Show us. We want to see what evidence we used because we're going to find plenty of faults in it. It's going to help us get this case dismissed. We want to see what you used. We want to see what the witnesses said. We want to see what was presented to even get to the point of you getting a grand jury indictment against our defendant. The prosecutor's office, the government, is responding, hey, it's unnecessary. First of all, your point, the basis for which you want us, for which you argue to get it dismissed is related to the first indictment, which is regarding our allegation that he's using. He's profiting from music regarding the murder of this individual. And so we got a superseding indictment. So your whole argument to get it dismissed is already gone. Why would we even go as far as to open? Because the superseding indictment has nothing to do with your arguments regarding the dismissal. All right? And they're saying that there's already been threats to witnesses, which we haven't seen. We don't know what the fuck that's about, but we don't know who the witnesses are and so on and so forth. But there already been threats. Someone is threatening witnesses on behalf of Lil Durk, allegedly. All this is alleged, of course. And so that is really the issue. That is the main thing that I wanted to get across to you guys. I think it's juicy. I think it's worthwhile to know this regarding this case. And I just wanted to show you guys this. Now, after this point, whether you want to stay watching or not, it's up to you. But I'm going to go through the rest of this. Background. Defendant's control and leadership of OTF. Defendant is the leader of a Chicago-based organization called Only the Family, or OTF. The SSI alleges that in addition to producing hip-hop music, OTF is comprised of individuals who engage in violence, including murder and assault, at defendant's direction. In furtherance of his control of OTF and to exact revenge on his rivals, defendant is alleged to have placed bounties on individuals that he and other OTF members wanted to kill, including TB. Bad. In addition to directing violence against his rivals, defendant and OTF members are also alleged to have engaged in witness intimidation. God damn. See Docket 105, Exhibit 2. It's under seal. But they have made allegations that someone is engaging in witness intimidation regarding this case. All right, it's still under seal. The exhibit is under seal. I guess we can't get our hands on it. This is crazy. For example, evidence collected in this case shows defendant allegedly placed a bounty to solicit the murder of a family member of a witness. Oh my god. Oh my god. And another OTF member called the family member of a witness in an alleged effort to intimidate the witness. Bruh. More allegations of criminality against Lil Durk. This is crazy, guys. This is crazy, all right? So there's more allegations. Allegedly placed a bounty to solicit the murder of a family member of a witness. This is crazy. They're saying that whilst he's in prison, he placed a bounty to solicit the murder of a family member of a witness, so that he's still operating on some gangster shit. This is crazy. Okay, let's read what they know of defendant's rivalry with TB. 1 second, let me turn off the air conditioner. Fuck. All right. As alleged in the SSI in November 2020, DB, a high-ranking OTF member and close friend of defendant, was murdered following a physical altercation with TB at a nightclub in Atlanta. We know that's King Von. After the murder, defendant made clear in coded language that he would pay bounty to anyone who took part in killing TB for his role in King Von's murder. On August 18, 2022, defendant and his co-conspirators learned that TB was in Los Angeles. In response, defendant allegedly orchestrated and financed his co-conspirators' travel to Los Angeles to kill TB. Indeed, around the time that a Chicago-based co-conspirator booked flights for 5 of the hitmen to travel from Chicago to California. Whoa. So there's 5 alleged hitmen to travel from Chicago to California for the murder. Defendant attempted to conceal his involvement by telling the co-conspirator, "Don't book no flights under no names involved with me." As those 5 co-conspirators traveled to Los Angeles, defendant and another co-conspirator traveled on a private jet to the Los Angeles area. After arriving in Los Angeles, defendant's co-conspirators used 2 cars to track, stalk, and kill TB as TB drove around Los Angeles with his entourage, including SR. After hours of stalking TB and his companions, 3 of defendant's co-conspirators cornered TB at a crowded gas station on the afternoon of August 19th. There, the co-conspirators ambushed TB's vehicle and fired multiple rounds towards TB's car, striking and killing SR. Later that afternoon, 5 of defendant's co-conspirators flew back to Chicago. Bruh, so they came there. Was that in the same day? Wow. So I'm assuming is this happened all. They flew in, shot up the place, and then left in the same day. They should have drove out, man. They should have drove out. You leave too much evidence when you fly in, guys. Not to advise anyone, but you can use a car, man. You could drive out. Much of America after that point, bro, don't stop too often. Stop at some weird gas stations and stuff. The indictment and defendants attempt to flee the country. On October 17th, 2024, the grand jury returned an indictment charging 5 of defendants. We know this. I don't want to bore you guys. All right, we know how that worked out. And then they just get into this first indictment. And then they got a second indictment because they didn't want to use the music. And then they're just saying that, his argument is valueless. Okay. So, defendant fails to show any misconduct or prejudice. Alright, so, okay. So, that's it, guys. I think I gave you guys the juicy parts. I don't know if you guys want me to go through the legal stuff, because I can take you through the legal stuff. We can go step by step, and I can teach you the law if you guys want. But, this is just going to be mad case law. All right. All right. So they're trying to get the grand jury, what do they call it? Transcripts, but they're not giving it. All right. And so this is going to go before a judge, and the judge is going to have to consider both their arguments and make a decision as to, do you need to show them, whoa, 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 what is this? They're mentioning Akademiks. In May 2023, defendant appeared on a well-known podcast where he tacitly admitted his involvement in the killing of SR. What? They're saying that Lil Durk. This is fucking crazy, man. They're saying that Lil Durk went on a podcast and somehow admitted it. Specifically, after being asked about his rivalry with TB and in response to the interview's questions about whether defendant was triggered by the Slide for Vaughn comments, a reference to the sliding or exacting revenge for OTF member King Vaughn's death, defendant coyly responded, "For some reason, I just don't see them comments no more. For some odd reason. Might be the water. We here, though." Okay, so that's... You think you guys are being slick. Look here, bruh. Look here. It's in the footnotes, but they're using this as part of the allegations, and so they probably use this to help get an indictment. Watch what you say, guys. Watch what you say. I wish my videos could reach more people, because I feel like all this stuff is juicy, and I feel like you guys want to know this. But man, watch what you say. Look at this. They're using this in the grand jury indictment. Even if they can't use that in court against you, they can use it in the grand jury indictment to even get to the point of indictment, because like I told you guys, the rules of evidence are much more lax, right? There's no adversarial process. There's no defense attorneys. You're not present. It's just them and the jury, and they're just trying to meet the probable cause standard. So it's a lot more lax, all right? And this is what happens, man. So, some juicy shit for you guys. Let me know if you guys like it. And that's it. Peace.